There's a version of the Spanish lifestyle that involves beach clubs, yachts and €10 coffees in Marbella. But as I head up into these mountains, I want to talk a little bit about how choosing the simpler life here in rural Spain has really seen my expenditure plummet. And for example, today's activity, a hike in these beautiful mountains, is costing me €0. And that is definitely one of the things that I've noticed the most in the last year since we moved from the Marbella area to rural Spain, is that my expenditure has literally gone down, I don't know, probably 90%, certainly not far off of that. You know, there's no need now to be seen in the high-end restaurants or to chase the fancy cars or the fancy clothing. And instead, I get this, which for me, you just can't put a price on. When you live in a lifestyle hub like Marbella or any city back in the UK, for example, there's an entry fee just to even exist. And what I mean by that is the moment you step out your door, you've got parking, you've got lunches, you've got social pressure just to keep up. But for me, out here in rural Spain, my entry fee is €0. And as I mentioned, by living here, I've seen my expenditure drop dramatically. And all of these things that I do now cost me €0. And there's no social pressure for me to have to keep up. I get a lot of comments from you guys, and probably one of the comments that I get the most is Spain cheap to live? And the truth is, Spain is as expensive as you want it to be. And that's all down to the lifestyle that you choose. Of course, if you choose a high-end area such as Marbella, you're going to feel that pressure to be driving a lovely car and living in a lovely villa. But if you want to simplify your life and cut your costs and not have to work so hard, then by choosing this lifestyle in rural Spain is a way that you can certainly come to Spain and live so cheaply. For example, let's talk about the real numbers. Now, having lunch in a glitzy coastal town such as Marbella, you could easily look at a lunch for one person, 50, 60, maybe even €70. Whereas here in rural Spain, I can still get a coffee for €1.20. I can get a 3-course meal, a menu del dia, for around €12. And one of the other things you notice as well is that when your entertainment is, for example, here, the mountains, or sitting in the village square watching people simply walk by, it's free. You don't find the need to have to spend that you do in so many other places. Somebody living here completely out in the wilds. Now that's rural. I saw a comment recently on like a Facebook group for expats, and the comment basically said that so many expats fall into the expat trap of moving to Spain but living exactly as they did in the UK. And of course, it depends on your financial resources, but if you're a normal person, that's the surefire way to see your savings disappear the most. For me, my second chapter isn't just about buying a more affordable property in rural Spain, but it's also about realising that a €1 bottle of water in these mountains, looking at these amazing views, beats any £50 bottle of wine in a beach club in Marbella. So if you're considering or planning a move to Spain, ask yourself, are you moving for status or are you moving for the scenery? Because the scenery is free, but the status could be expensive. Now, one of the things I do want to talk about is the reality, because it's not all brochure versions. So let's talk about the heat for a moment, because if you choose the luxury lifestyle, then you're probably sitting in an air-conditioned beach club or dipping in and out of the swimming pool somewhere in Marbella, whereas here, out in these amazing mountains, the heat is real. Currently it's around 43 degrees, and I think if you choose the simple life, it's also about adapting to the landscape that's around you, and you can do it. You know, I've come here, I've got like a litre of water, I pop in and out of the shade under the trees, and yeah, I've adapted. But simple life means simple living and just finding the small pleasures. And for me, 2 minutes under one of these trees is a very simple but beautiful pleasure. Hola, hola, buenas. Couple just there. I think they're going to enjoy some of the tiny little lakes. Most of them are dried up now, but I noticed they've got their cooler box and some bathing suits and a sun lounger. See what I mean? The simple life. Can you hear that? That's crickets. This boulder just balancing there. Literally looks like at any second it could just topple. Oh, I'm just going to sit for a minute and enjoy this breeze, enjoy this shade, and enjoy some water, because man, it is hot. But I think sitting here with this view and this breeze and this water, as simple as it is, beats any beach club. Okay, anyway, I suppose it's time to head home. I better go and let our 2 little Yorkshire Terriers, Cookie and Brandy, out, because they're currently locked in their cage, which is like a big bed, and they've got the fan on, but they miss me when I'm not there. So anyway, let's head back.